I'm live here, just doing the final little prep things, trying to make sure everything's lit well. Well, as long as the meter's lit well, and I'm happy. I don't see it on the screen yet. At least I'll say anybody else. I don't see any numbers on the screen. Activity, but that's okay. It's Christmas week. I don't expect a whole lot of people either, but I didn't expect a whole lot of people last net either. But we had 31, which was a pretty big number. We've only gone over 30 a couple of times in the last few years. In fact, I think only twice, maybe three times. Um, we seem to be doing all right, better than most, I think. But then I haven't seen the other simplex nets around the nation. I'm hoping I'll hear about some. I mean, I hear about people having nets. I would say nets, informal nets, where they just people get together on simplex. But I don't know if there's anybody else who's doing a net quite like ours on simplex. If you know one, let me know. There's somebody just popped in there. I'm betting it's Michael. Yeah, we're only 30 seconds or so away. It was exciting just watching me, I'm sure. But we'll get started momentarily. Yep, that's when we're starting. K4PEW. This is the frequency in use. Is a frequency in use. Obviously, it's not. Good evening. My name is Paul, K4PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Nothing heard. If there's any traffic for emergency basis, please just jump in and say break or help or scream. We'll hear you. So if you'll just do that, it can be broken at any time for emergencies. Non-emergencies include wrong orders at McDonald's or White Castle. You can see us. Of course, you can look us up on the web in several ways. On Yahoo, you can see the live feed if you're looking for K4PEW in the search block for YouTube. You can look us up or under K4PEW, or you can look me up under Brain Trusts. It's one word, BRAINTRUSTS. Or you can look us up on our website, which is 146415.net, 146415.net, or on our Yahoo groups, which is MJ_SS. That's Mike Juliet _Sierra Sierra. Or last but not least, my email, which is K4PEW@ARRL.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday night and every Saturday night on this frequency, which is 146.415 FM Simplex. I've been doing it now for about 4 years in October, November, December, 3 months. And we seem to be doing a pretty good job. It's routinely growing from, at least in the last 9 months, 6, 7, 8 months, it's grown from average of 12 to about an average of 25 or so, maybe a little higher than that. I don't really keep track of the numbers that closely, but I just know that we're averaging a lot more than we used to. Anyway, the purpose of the net is to support and train ham radio operators for emergency communications. If any event we ever have to do that, and we see hams improving their stations and their skills and their antennas tremendously over the years, in the event that it does happen, I'm sure will be a great asset to the community if that does happen. We invite everyone to announce amateur radio events, activities, training, testing, etc., to support the community, especially the hams. It's a directed net, and all traffic should be coordinated by net control. Does anybody have any announcements? I do have the one for, in case Richard is listening, for Boxwell for the Boy Scouts. Does anybody else? Very good. Well, the announcements, of course, are tonight. I'm going to try to do 5-watt net. I don't know if that's going to work out, if we need to do that tonight, or if it doesn't work out well, I'll just move back to 50 watts. But I'm on 50 now, but I just thought we'd go to 50 or 5 watts to see how things went for everybody. Also, December 30th is the Boy Scouts are doing some training from Boxwell Reservation there for the Boy Scouts on for their radio communication or merit badges, and that's going to be Richard KI4SIB. He's going to be doing it, and they're going to be on this frequency and on I think the 9-1 machine. I'm pretty sure that's the one it'll be. And that'll be at approximately, I think it's around 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, or so, or 10 o'clock and 3 o'clock. If you're able to be on the radio, just tune in to hear, and you'll hear them, or a 9-1 machine. If you're not, well, you're not, but there'll be somebody out there. And then, of course, the Winter Field Day is at the Lebanon. It's being, sponsored and put together by the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club, and they will be... you can contact, like I said, at the fairgrounds. And that's Bill, KC4WU, and you can get him at KC4WU. KC4WU? Hold on. I'm not sure what that is. Let me look again. KK4WU. That's what it is. KK4WU at, hold on. KK4WU. What it is. I'll have to get that for you later. It starts with a B, though, because that was my abbreviation. Bill's out there, you can tell me. All right. I'll get back to you on that. If you're interested in the field, though, contact me, and I'll contact him. We'll get it all put together. Does anybody else have any other announcements? I heard a beep. Static or to click, nothing. All righty. Well, let me get started. We've got several people on the live feed again. Brain Trusts or on K4PEW and on that YouTube search block. Of course, we'll also have it up on the web for later. All right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll start taking check-ins from. In this case, it'll be from the north of Lebanon Road.
Whiskey Echo 4 Echo. KG4S.
All right, Charles. Hold on one second, Charles. So how you doing there, Danny?
Not too bad, Paul. How's it going over there?
Going good. Hold on one second.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. I went down to 5 watts, and I know Danny can hear me.
Oh, did you change something, Paul? I'm sorry, I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, I said we were going to do 5 watts tonight. If you can't, you can. If you don't hear me, or just let me know. Go to 50 watts and let me know, or to hear me, to tell me that you can't hear me. Because obviously 5 watts should work for most people from me, but the converse isn't going to work out.
Yeah, I got you. Give me a second here. All right, that should be somewhere in the vicinity of 5 watts from me.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference. Of course, I wasn't looking at the meter either, but I'll see that the next go around.
Yeah, mighty fine. Well, I hope you had a good Christmas over there in your household.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're doing 20 or 30 over there, so I'm not sure we're worried about your signal there, Danny.
I suppose not. All right, I'll let you move on to others and find out what's going on. So nice to hear you, Paul. Good to be in here with you guys. And 73 of the group, K4PEW and Company WE40 back today.
Yeah, very good. That was Danny, and it's Whiskey Echo 4 Echo, and he's in Hendersonville. Next up was Charles, KG4, Kilo Golf 4 Sierra Foxtrot in Cottontown.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for starting at the north. I can barely hear you, and I'm joking. Hope you had a good Christmas and eating a late dinner here and hear the baby crying in the other room. Yeah, I wasn't for sure if you're doing a net tonight.
Yeah, we do it either way. You're about an S7 here tonight, Charles.
Yeah, I'm joking. I can hear you just fine. I was going to see if I could hear you on the HT, but I wasn't going to fool with it. I was wondering about that, if I'd be able to hear you on HT, but we're doing hold on to their hats.
Am I what?
I said everyone hold on to their hats. It's supposed to get pretty windy.
So I'm told. I think that's tomorrow night, isn't it?
Tonight through Friday.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I said I was wrong. You're about S8 here into the shack. Are you on 5 watts tonight?
I'm on 50.
Try me on 5. Is it easy to change for you?
There's 5.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Say that one more time, and I'll look at the meter. I wasn't looking.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, you're only about an S. If it's a 3, I think I can't read that meter very well backwards. I'm gonna have to learn how to do that. But no, you sound good though. Full copy. All right, very good, Charles. Good to have you in there. You sound pretty good. Good signal on 5 watts. That was Charles, Kilo, Golf 4, Sierra, Foxtrot in Cottontown. Who else north of Lebanon Road?
WV0 and OL.
Did you go to 5 watts too, Mark?
Now, it's not easy for me to go to 5. I might be able to go to 25, but I'd have to get the manual out.
All right, we'll leave it at that then. As you know, well, not in your case if you get a difficult radio for some reason, but it's nice to make those changes, or so people remember how to do them. You know.
Yeah, well, I could never see why I would want to go from 65 to 5. I mean, if they can't hear me, I would need to go from 65 to 200.
Yes, that's true. But here's a point. I'm sure you must have thought of it. But if let's say we had a major power outage for whatever reason, hurricane, flood, nuclear disaster, or whatever, and all you had was battery, and you had limited power available, you'd want to be on 5 watts to limit your power usage on the air.
Well, that's a good point. And I've got a couple more radios here that probably would do that. So I will take that under advisement that in the event of a nuclear attack, I am to get my handy-talkie out, right?
Yeah, that's right. No, I'm just saying, obviously, whenever we talk about emergency situations, we're talking theoretical. But the fact is that you'd be able to stay on whatever the reason was, whatever the problem was. Because obviously, if you went on battery power or solar power and battery or whatever it is you're doing, if you can get away with 5 watts and can get your point across, that's better. It's all the better.
Yeah, I rarely have any points to make, though,
Yeah, I got you. Well, it's funny. I rarely even think about how that would be managed because I don't work at the WEMA station over in Wilson County or the EOC over in Davidson County. So I'm not sure how they actually handle traffic, but to be on the air, I don't imagine hams are going to be on the air a lot in the event of an emergency. I think that they're going to be doing a lot of listening and just letting people know they're there. I think that's the only thing. There's not going to be a lot. It's not like it's going to be a net.
Yep, that's true. Although you may recall I was almost caught in the hurricane down in Florida last year. And there was quite a bit of traffic going on between the northeast Gulf Coast and up toward Tallahassee. We heard quite a bit of it until the power went out in the hotel.
Recheck.
Yeah, I bet there was. Charles, what's up?
I'm wondering if he's talking about the same hurricane that I was, because I almost got caught in it too. And there was so much traffic, and all the rest areas are full. It was miserable. Yeah, it took me 8 hours to get out of Florida.
Yeah, I can believe it. I think it's the same one. You won earlier this year, you mean?
I don't remember when it was, but it was awful. It was, and I think it kept going different ways than what they thought it would.
Yeah, but you can't trust these weather people. They don't know. That's the problem. Is nobody really knows where it's going until it hits. So, yeah, I know what you're talking about there, Charles. Well, very good, Mark. Appreciate you. Yeah, and I'll let you know if there's a nuclear disaster. Okay.
Well, Paul, this is the first place that I will tune in when I hear the sirens going off. Then, all right. I guess I'm kind of in a smart aleck mode. Sorry about that, but that's the real me, I guess. Anyway, have a good evening. Have a happy New Year if we don't talk to you. WV0 and OL.
Yeah, very good, Mark. That's Mark, and he's in the Hermitage, and that's Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar. No, it's a free country and it's free speech. And as I sent in the email, I actually think that ham radio Simplex may be the last vestige of free speech in America, because we can't do it. We can't speak freely at work. We can't speak freely if we went to school. We can't speak freely in a lot of social situations. Here, you can say anything you want. There's nobody can tell you to get off the air, and nobody's going to take you to task. I don't think. I've never heard anybody do that. All right, very good, Mark. Good to have you in there. Who else we got north 11 room?
Hey, Kilo Echo 4, Romeo, Victor, Quebec.
Sound real good. There was a double in there. Let me take Brent first there. Kilo Echo 4, Romeo, Victor, Quebec. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good, Paul. I'm down on 5 watts. See how I'm doing from here.
Well, I'm sorry, but you're only about 10 over.
Good. Yeah, this new little Elenco's working pretty good.
Yeah, I used to think Elenco was like the red-haired stepchild of the industry, but I learned differently.
Yeah, like I said, this is an older unit. It actually, other than just getting really hot when you transmit a lot, that's the only thing I have a problem with.
Well, that's what you have to do, is just set it down on the desk and then put your coffee cup on top of it, and it'll keep it warm.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, it actually works better when it's a little warm.
Does it really?
Seems like it.
All right, very good, Brent. Yeah, that's you have this. We talked about that before. They use they don't. I guess Elenco doesn't like fans.
No, they got a heat sink that's every bit as big as the radio.
I know. It seems to work okay. By the way, if you look, I didn't realize until later that the Elenco I have was made in the Philippines.
Yeah, this one is too.
Yeah, it's intriguing, because I don't know, all the other guys are doing China, Taiwan, Japan, and here we're in the Philippines.
There you have it.
Yeah, very good. That was Brent, Kilo Echo 4, Romeo, Victor, Quebec, and he is in the north side of Wilson County. Well, actually, the northwest kind of corner of Wilson County. Good to have you in there, Brent. Good signal on 5 watts, by the way. Who else north 11 road? Anybody else north? All right, over to the west of Mount Juliet Road, west of Wilson County.
4G.
Hey, how you doing in there, Jeff? Oh, that's right. You're off this week, aren't you?
That's right. I'm running 5 watts, so I guess you're doing okay.
Yeah, you're doing great on 5 watts. I wasn't looking at the meter again. I got to get used to doing that, but no, you sound terrific.
That's good. But yeah, I'll remember to check in this time. I forgot back during Thanksgiving week when I was on vacation, but remember this time.
Well, there's no demerits. You were about an looks like about an S7 in here on your 5 watts, so you're doing great. And we don't. Nobody gets a demerit or a chewing out for not being here. There's other things going on, and it's easy to forget. And it's got family issues and work issues and sleeping issues. You name it. There's enough things that get in the way of life these days.
Most of those. But anyway, I did make it. I'm not worried about the merits. I get into those anyway.
I don't know how you put up with the people you do put up with in the job you have now.
Learn to tune things out most of the time.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Well, we all do that in jobs. We have to. That's our job, is to put on a nice face and put up with the nonsense, even if you don't like it. All right, very good. That was Jeff. Great signal on 5 watts. He's in Madison. That's Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf. I love that call. Unique. Who else we got west of Mount Juliet Road?
Whiskey 4, Alpha, Whiskey Echo.
Hello, John. Are you on 5 watts tonight, are you?
Yes, what it's showing.
Well, it's showing about, it looks like maybe S9 or a little bit better.
Well, I guess antennas do work.
Oh, yeah, they really do. I was telling somebody today that the other antenna he had, what was that, the 510, the one by Diamond? That's the one you had before this one, right?
Yeah, in fact, I honestly can't say I really heard the difference. On paper, it's only a 1 dB difference, and 1 decibel is considered the absolute slightest margin the human ear can hear. So they should actually be almost the same.
Yeah, no, I got you. You're right. But the difference would be in that 7 feet of increased height, which would give a different takeoff angle on the transmission, correct?
Well, that's how it's getting the gain. But one thing that it does do, let's see, the 510, I believe, I think that's 17 feet, and this one, the X700 is 24 feet. So even if on paper you've only got 1 decibel of additional gain, what you are gaining because of the amount of wire in the air is a greater capture ratio.
Oh, absolutely. No, I just I tell people I was astounded. Now again, I was going from a cheap antenna compared to this one, and so the difference to me was just almost night and day.
Yeah, I went through 2 of those same antennas that you had, and both of them ended up failing with internal corrosion because of water.
Yeah, it's terrible when you think about it, but I almost felt after I had that water problem, I should have taken the antenna when I bought it, and then after I put it all together, epoxy coated it.
But the other problem is a lot of it, I'm not sure if that actually works because it builds so much condensate that they're supposed to have a weep-hole, but the weep-hole is so tiny, I don't know how much can drain out. The second one I did, before I assemble it, totally pull all the elements out and actually soldered all the joints because the factory soldering had a lot of cold joints.
Wow. Yeah. Well, China hasn't improved their quality control, obviously.
But even after I did all that work and I put silicone on on those seal joints where it put together, after all that work, it failed as rapidly as the other one.
Yeah, well, the old adage, man, you get what you pay for.
And taking, just out of curiosity, I pulled everything out of the X700 to look how it was built. The gauge of the metal, everything is just so much more heavy duty.
Oh, it was impressive. Just the shell, the brass that's inside on that on the actual radiator, and just everything about that was top notch.
Yeah, the fiberglass is built almost like a deep sea fishing outrigger.
Yeah, it's funny. It has a good flexibility too in the wind, in spite of that 24 feet, and it holds up very well.
It is amazing. I remember seeing some YouTube video. I can't remember. It might have been in England, where a guy had on the coast of Wales or somewhere in England had an X700 and a 60-mile-an-hour plus, and it was whipping like a fishing rod, but survived it perfectly.
Good to know, because I'm not getting out there to take it down in high winds. I'm going to tell you. Well, listen, John, it's good to have you in there. Good signal on 5 watts. That's John. He's in Bellevue at Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo with a nice review of the the 2 antennas. The one we have. We both have that diamond, and then he had a previous one, which was a diamond 510, which it's hard for him to discern the difference on that 1 dB gain difference, and it's 7 feet shorter. So I'm guessing the reception is better on the bigger one. But anyway, let's move on. Who else west of Mount Juliet?
KM4 YRF.
Delta 4 Oscar Echo November. Good evening, Paul, and the rest of the gang, and wish a belated Merry Christmas to all of you. Hope you had a great time with friends and family.
Yeah, did great. Marty's there well with you tonight?
Right here beside me. So I will pass the mic over to him, but you all have a great evening, and we will check in hopefully on Saturday. Sorry we missed last week. We were having Christmas. But anyway, Kilo Delta 4 Oscar Echo November clear.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize. I don't know. We always understand that family comes first. Family and work always come before ham radio. Right, Marty?
P4 BQK. Yeah, right here and I didn't hear Mike tonight.
Yeah, Mike was right on top of you there. I think he was actually checking in with you, and there was a double, but he'll be in right after you guys.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, very good. Good to have you in there, Mary, and good to have you in there, Marty. And that was KD Kilo Delta 4 Echo Oscar November and Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Quebec Kilo. Nice married couple there, Mary and Marty from Belshire. Was the next up, Michael?
KM4YRF on 5 watts.
There he is.
Yeah, there he goes. I wasn't looking at the meter, but give me that big 5 watts again.
All right, I'll be happy to give that big 5 watts on that Diamond X700.
Well, it's pegging my meter.
Watch it on the live stream. I love it when that happens. That's on 5 watts.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, it's all me. You see, it's me, not you. I mean, your 5 watts is nothing out there in Belshire.
Somehow I knew you were going to say that.
I'm doing all the heavy lifting over here in Mount Juliet.
Yeah, just because you're higher than I am.
Well, we're not going to take that literally, only in the geographic sense.
All right, Paul. Back to net.
Yeah, very good. Great signal, man. Pegging the meter on 5 watts just goes to show you when we have matched pairs of antennas. It's amazing. And John has the same antenna, but he has got a real big elevation issue. There's a big bump between him and me, so it's surprising he even does S9 here. But he always does great, and it's partially because of where his antenna is on his property as well as the height. But anyway, good to have you in there, Michael. That was Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. He's also in Belshire. Anybody else west of Mount Juliet, please come in.
Was John on 5 watts?
X-Ray Hotel in Donaldson.
I'm sorry, give me that one more time, X-Ray Hotel.
Kilo Oscar 4 X-Ray Hotel. This is Ralph in Donaldson.
Hello, Ralph. How are you?
Good. How are you, Paul?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm glad you're there. Are you doing 5 watts as well?
Oh, I don't know, Paul. I've got a little old J-pole. I don't have any idea what I've got. It's trash, whatever it is.
Well, you're pegging my meter, so whatever you're doing is working good.
But anyway, I trust that you had a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, it's always good. I generally have an optimistic view of every day, unless I really am sick, and then I still have an optimistic view because if I didn't, I'd really be in bad shape.
Roger. Well, it's good to hear you tonight. Just got home from church and turned the radio on, and Mike actually texted me while I was in church and reminded me of the net tonight. So good evening, Mike and Marty and Mary and the entire net. Back to net.
Yeah, very good, Mike. Yeah, John was on 5 watts, by the way, Michael.
Great. I thought so.
How are you copying him from your location?
Good, really good. That's why I was asking if it was 5 watts, because it was just pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Again, he doesn't have the same problem between you and him, I don't believe, but I know he's got a problem between him and me with the terrain problem, which, like I said, there's a big bump in between him and me, and it's right south of Nashville.
Yeah, but that Diamond X700 is doing the job.
Yeah, it's an all-terrain vehicle, I'm told.
Well, it's built like a tank. I know that.
That's right. All right, very good. Who else we got west of Mount Juliet? That was Ralph, Kilo Oscar 4 X-Ray Hotel. And I forget where, is that Nashville, Ralph?
Yeah, it's Nashville, out fairly close to the airport. Go ahead.
Okay, so that would be considered Donaldson?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good. I'm actually learning my geography here after being here 7 years. It's real slow since I don't get out much being retired. All right, appreciate you being there, Ralph. Good signal. Yeah, your J-pole's doing fine, really. To me, anyway. So I'm not. How do you? Let me ask Michael up in Belshire. How do you copy, Ralph?
He is doing really, really good here.
Okay, very good. I figured it probably would be. All right, we'll ask. Well, you'll hear it around. You'll of course, Ralph. When you've been on the net before, do you copy pretty much everybody?
There's some stations that I can't copying like, Tullahoma and places like that. But for the most part, I'm copying most everybody.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you must be in a good spot there, over there in Donaldson. That's kind of central to everything, though, too. I mean, it's even more, obviously being right there near Nashville. All right, very good, Ralph. Who else do we have west of Mount Juliet? Please come in.
KI4SIB.
Where are you tonight, west of Nashville? I mean, west of Mount Juliet.
I'm not. I just wanted to jump in the middle of this right quick before I forgot, and everybody that was listening on 5 watts got away from the QSO. We've narrowed down the time for the event on the 30th, if you don't mind announcing it for me.
Oh, yeah, I already did that first thing. Weren't you listening?
No, I just got here. In fact, I was running some errands and just got back to the house. But no, we've narrowed the time down to an hour that morning and an hour that afternoon. The morning hour is from 10 till 11. The afternoon is from 3 to 4. So anybody that can and will, we're going to start in the morning session about 10 o'clock and the afternoon session about 3 o'clock.
All right, very good. I will send it. Again, I'm going to be sending out the reminder on the email, too, so everybody will get a firm notice on all of that, Richard.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. I'll let you get back to the west side. I'm sitting up at the house on the east side, but I am on 5 watts. And have a good rest of the night. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and New Year's coming. So take care. God bless. KI4SIB.
Well, I got to tell you, Richard, your J-pole's falling down, man. I had to actually bump the meter to make it move.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that for a second. This thing is barely hanging on.
No, I've got a good solid audio on you in terms of readability. There's no problem whatsoever, but it's just not even, it sounds like, looks like it's shivering a little bit down there, laying down on the bottom.
Well, actually, I don't have the 2 bars on you.
Well, again, that's the location, and that's less than excellent J-pole.
Absolutely.
Very good. Yeah, you bumped up a little bit on that last one. It was maybe an S.5.
But it's maybe get used to 5 watts or something. I don't know. Have a great rest of the night. Thank you for what you do. KI4SIB.net.
Yeah, very good, Richard. Good to have you. That's Richard. He's over in Lebanon. He cheated and decided to jump in because of the. He wanted to make sure the announcement went out about the December 30th event, where they'll be on the air from 10 to 11 and 3 to 4 on the 30th from Boxwell, so you can help out if you can from wherever you are. All right, that was Richard, Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo. Who else we have west of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson? Nothing. We'll move around to the south of 40. Please come now.
W4EBX.
Hey, how you doing, Eddie?
Doing fairly well. Had a big Christmas. Hope everybody else did. And looking forward to it warming up tomorrow.
Yeah, and then the rain. Is that what you're looking for?
Oh, yeah. Can't wait for that, too.
Yeah, it's the only way I get my car washed.
Well, it makes it kind of hard to get that bucket out there in the suds and do it in the rain, but it's got to be done.
Very good. Well, Eddie, are you running 5 watts as well?
Yeah, I'm on 5 watts.
Well, again, you're pegging my meter, but you're only 5 miles from me, and your antenna's up pretty high, so you're doing real well to me, Eddie. And that was Eddie, Whiskey 4, Echo Bravo X-ray, and he's over east of Providence and south of 40. East of Providence about 4 or 5 miles, and south of Providence, I-40 just a little bit. Who else we got in there? By south of 40.
KN4CCQ.
You sound like you're on 5 watts there, Preston.
No, I'm on 0.5 watts. I figured I'd try the handheld out and see if you can hear me.
Oh, you took the handheld and put it on the outside antenna?
Yeah, I've got it on the outside antenna. On battery power at a half a watt.
Well, you do half a watt's good to me, I'll tell you. I wasn't looking at the meter, so let's come back one more time.
Well, all right, I'll try it once again. Hope you had a good Christmas over there, and everybody listening had a good Christmas. We had tried a good one over here. So, 2 3 to you, Paul. Sounding good here.
Yeah, very good, Preston. You had good audio, a little bit of hash in there, and it was bumping the meter about twice as high as Richard did on his 5 watts on his J-pole.
Yeah, all right. Well, good deal. At least I know I can make it through the coax in a half a watt.
It's amazing, really, that it is funny to me because I did that 0.05 watts one time, and it's hard to believe it doesn't die right before it leaves my shack. Well, very good. That was Preston down in Possum Trot. That's Kilo November 4, Charlie, Quebec. And he's in Possum Trot, and his name Possum Trot. Name is Preston. Good signal on half a watt on his handheld connected to his outside antenna. He's got a little tower out there. Who else do we have south of 40?
KN4 MPV.
Hey, Terry, how are you tonight?
Doing good. I was off tonight, so I thought I'd give you a check-in there on Wednesday for a change there, and I'm on 5 watts.
Doing a good job. Again, I wasn't looking at the meter. I was writing it down, so we're going to have to talk again.
Okay, we'll give it a whirl, and hope everybody had a good Christmas, and Santa brought what they needed. Enjoyed themselves with their family and friends.
Yeah, well, you're doing good. You're bumping the meter about an S3 or so from Murfreesboro, so you're doing good on 5 watts, that's for sure.
Okay, well, thank you, Paul, and I'll let you get some more in there, everybody. 73, and have a good night. Okay, and for MPV, yeah.
Yeah, you can look at it and hear it on the audio later if you want to. If you're not looking at it now on the YouTube live feed. So, very good. Good to have you in there, Terry. That's Terry Kilo November 4, Mike Papa Victor. He's in Murfreesboro, 5 watts. We don't normally hear him on Wednesday nights because he's working, but tonight he's off. It's nice to be off work. Of course, I've been off work for several years now, so I don't even notice. Who else we got south of 40?
Hello, Mike 4, November Yankee, Bill, Murfreesboro.
All right, Bill. How you doing? You have a good signal. Did you go to 5 watts tonight?
Yeah, I'm on 5 watts yet.
Well, golly, you're only doing about S8, so you're doing great.
I don't know how it does it. I'll show you a picture someday of what I got hanging up there. But I must have enough height and stuff around me. It works out great.
Well, it does work out great because I'm telling you, if you see the meter on here and you hear the audio at my end, you wouldn't believe that some of you guys are on 5 watts because it's just a very good signal.
I can hook my little handheld up on there and you hear me just as well, too.
Yeah, in fact, for whatever reason, the audio even got better that time.
That's probably where I'm holding the mic.
Could be, but it's still a good signal on 5 watts. You're doing a great job. Yeah, you will have to send a picture. We ought to send pictures of our less than perfect antenna situations. Or I could send. I don't have any. Yeah, I do too. I do. I already have one up there from one of my lesser antenna installations. But yeah, that was Bill. He's in Murfreesboro. And that's Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee. Great signal on 5 watts. Who else saw the 40?
November 8, Papa Yankee.
Did you go to 5 watts there, Rusty?
Yes, sir. I'm coming to you on the 817 tonight.
Oh, great. And that is, again, that's a strict 5 watts. That's not the new model with 6 or 7 watts, isn't it?
That's right. It's the old ND model.
Yeah, you're getting about, again, I'm going to have to mark this better so I memorize what those markings are. It looks like you're about an S6. I think you're doing great.
Thank you. Hope I'm getting in well. I may not actually be able to be here on Saturday, so let me go ahead and wish everyone and you and your family a Happy New Year. In case I don't make it back on Saturday, I don't think I'll be able to hit you on 5 watts from Florida.
Well, it's unlikely. And well, you can check in twice tonight if you want to. That'll count up for Saturday.
Okay. I'll wait until you call for the late ones or something.
All right, very good, Rusty. Good to have you in there. That's Rusty, November 8, Papa Yankee on 5 watts out of Murfreesboro. Who else saw the 40? Anybody else saw the 40?
K4 IDC.
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
Hold on, Larry. I got Robin in there who sounded like you ran into the shack and grabbed the mic. How you doing, Robin?
I was actually reaching for the RF power control as I keyed the mic.
It just sounded like it was a rushed thing for you. Did you go to 5 watts for me?
Well, I turned the power all the way down for the net.
Well, does that mean 1 watt or what?
I think it's somewhere between 5 and 10.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, supposedly I'm on 5 watts, but we'll see. I'm doing well. I mean, how do you copy me? I guess is a key question here.
You're 40 over S9 per usual.
Okay, yeah, you're about 10 over, so you're doing great.
You're making the meter.
I'm not going to touch that. All right. Well, catch you later. That was Robin, Kilo 4, India Delta Charlie. He's about 5 miles south of me and just west between Percy Priest and 171, which is Mount Juliet Road. Larry, SYV, you in there tonight as well. Appreciate you being there, Robin. Larry.
Yep, this is KE4SYV and David, KI4NDN's been trying to get you, but man, he's just barely breaking squelch for me.
All righty. I'm going to have to listen up close for David next. But anyway, so how you doing? I mean, you're doing real well. It looks like you were doing about S5 or S6, if I remember that.
Yeah, I'm okay, and you got about the same thing over here. So listen close, and I'll let you get David, KE4SYV.
Yeah, very good. And of course, that's Larry, Kilo Echo 4, Sierra Yankee Victor, and he is in, where is he? He's in Rockville. And David, are you copying me? Apparently not. David, move up from 5 watts.
He's copying you, Paul.
Okay, hello, Paul. Good evening to you.
What happened to your 5 watts? It used to do fine.
Well, I was on extra low power on that little Kenwood CMF6 there.
You talking about the TH6, THF 6A?
Yeah, I can see it. I hear you well, yes, sir. But that's on, I guess, medium power. I guess that's back to the 5 watts on that.
Well, high power on that's 5, medium is 1, and that EL or energy saving low power is a half a watt if you're on city power connecting it.
Okay, I'm on battery power, not connected, and I'm on medium power at this time on that radio.
Yeah, well, if you're on the battery, it's like 0.05 watts. That's why I couldn't hear you.
Well, hey, you don't need to hear me. As long as Larry can hear me, I'm okay.
You know what I'm saying, though? I looked it up. It's what's hard to believe that radio is 0.05 watts when it's on the battery.
Well, you're going to have to get you an antenna like Larry's got.
No, I just need a tower like Larry is.
All right. Well, good evening to you and to all out there, and Happy New Year. KI4NDN. Back to you, sir.
Yeah, very good, David. Sound good, though, anyway. I mean, you got a good signal even on that medium power, which I think is 1 watt, if that's what you're doing. And that was David, Kilo India 4, November Delta November, and he's in Reedyville. Who else we got south of 40?
Anyone else pretty?
I was wondering when you were going to jump in there.
I just walked up the stairs.
All right, very good. As long as you don't run up the stairs with scissors or something. So did you jump down to 5 watts for us?
All right, that's 0.5, I believe.
Well, 0.5 gave you almost 30 over.
Very good on your end.
No, it's doing great. Of course, again, you're the guy I talked to on the handheld down there, so you must be in a fine location relative to me.
Well, at least on half a watt at the SWR is 0.
I tell you, your audio is really clean from that on that machine and your antenna to me. I mean, it almost sounds like you're not on low power. It just sounds like you're backing off the mic,
Oh, very good. Well, that's at 5 watts now. 10%.
Yeah, well, that's almost pegging the meter. It just comes a frog hair's length away from pegging the meter here. But no, your audio is very good.
No more accolades.
Well, we have usually it's a, what do they call, like in that old song, it's a mutual admiration society.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, carry on there. K1S.
Yeah, very good. That was Scott, Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta, and he is in Laverne, which I spelled wrong, I think, when I put that in somewhere. Lavern instead of E, instead of Lavergn. Anyway, my bad. Oh, who else we got south of 40? We'll come back to you with the late check-ins. And east of Mount Juliet Road, please come now.
WA4ZHI.
All right. Thanks for your patience, James. You doing okay on 5 watts?
Yep, 5 works fine for here.
Oh, yeah. Pegging the meter as always on 5.
Weird about next door neighbors.
Well, just about. But I mean, it is only 2.5 miles or so. And there's a little bit of terrain between us, but not much. I mean, it's really a good signal between us. We could honestly probably do that 0.05 watts to each other and not have any problem.
Yeah, from medium hill to tall hill.
Yep, exactly. Well, good to have you in there, James. I'm glad you waited. That was Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. He is right here in the heart of Mount Juliet, just east of the library. And of course, that was James. Who else we got east of Mount Juliet? All right, I heard something. Just have to say it again. Let me turn up the volume a little bit. Ah, that was Wes. I got you in there, Wes. Yes, I do. Really rough. And that's what's beautiful, actually, about for any of you who have ever worked digital FM. It's hard if you don't have a good signal. If the signal isn't solid, you're not going to get any of it. And that's the beauty of analog FM, is that even with the bad conditions and low power, you can generally pull out the letters, even if you have to repeat them. But there's no repeating letters or repeating phonetics in digital if the signal is not making it and not making it well. And so this would be a good example right here. Yeah, you sound good, and you went to 5 watts because normally you're much better than that.
Yeah, I bumped it up there to 50. But all right, go ahead with that. Everything's good here at KE4TWR.
Yeah, very good, Wes. And it was Wes, Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey Indy, and he's in just a little bit north of Watertown. And that less than that 5 watts or less is killer bad, but I was still able to copy. Who else we got south of 40? Or it's east of Mount Juliet Road, excuse me.
Hey, I'm sorry, Kerry.
Hello, Stan. Did you go to 5 watts?
Roger.
Yeah, well, you're doing about S9 here, so you're doing great.
Thanks, Paul. There are some folks I could hear and a lot I couldn't hear, but don't know. Maybe with a better antenna, I might hear better.
Well, I'm not sure I remember. Which antenna do you use there in?
I have the high gain G7 144.
And that's a dual bander?
No, it's a monoband.
Yeah, I don't remember what the gain on that was. And what is that about? Is that like a short antenna? Is that 10 feet, something like that?
I think it's 15 feet tall.
I would expect it would do better than that, because you've got a pretty decent elevation over there in Lebanon.
Yeah, I can hear Scott running 0.5 watts, but there was Larry down there. I could tell someone was there, but I couldn't hear him very well.
Well, yeah, Larry's a good stretch from you too. You know, he's a lot farther than Scott is for sure.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I'll hold you up, Paul. Back to net. Okay, I'm for HQB.
All right, very good, Stan. Appreciate you checking in. And that was Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo and Stan, and he's just a little bit north of downtown Lebanon. Who else south or east of Mount Juliet Road? Anybody else east? And we're going to take late check-ins from any place, anywhere. Please come now.
KO4TR.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm outstanding, as my friends in the Navy used to say. Doing great, sitting here watching the news on MSNBC and having a good time. I hope you had a good Christmas.
Yeah, we used to say outstanding in the rain.
That too, or in the field.
Yeah, it's funny. You're right though. You do hear that a lot in the Navy. I was in the Navy, and that was how you doing? Outstanding. And they say if you did something right, it was outstanding. Everything was outstanding.
Yeah, we used to have a couple of Navy guys. One was a submariner, and one was a surface puke. At least that's what he called him. But anyway, and they were always throwing that term around back in the day. I don't know whatever happened to him, but anyway, you're sounding good tonight, and sounds like the net is running right on time, like the trains and stuff. So everything's good. Hope you got lots of candy for Christmas.
Well, more than I needed actually. It's always too much food. I'm getting too old to be eating that much food, and I need to lose some weight. Well, I'm doing all right. It's just that I need to lose weight. I could easily lose 30 pounds and nobody'd even notice.
Well, you still want to get wet in the shower, don't you?
Well, I'm going to get wet because I weigh about maybe 280 now, so I don't think I'm going to have any problem getting wet.
Yeah, but you're about 7 foot tall, right?
Well, not quite that. I know about 6'3". Yeah, just it's an optical illusion.
There you go. Well, it must be the platform shoes. But anyway. Yeah, sounding good. What was I going to say? I forgot what it was, so I guess it wasn't important. Anyway, glad you're having the net. Everybody's sounding good that I can hear, and if I can't hear them, well, that's it. 73s, and we'll talk to you. Oh, I had a question. I watched one of the videos on your QRZ page, and I just had a question about your XYL, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did she ever live or work in Alaska?
No, never in Alaska. That'd be the last place you'd find a Long Island girl.
Well, the reason I ask is her singing voice sounds a whole lot like the voice of a woman in a group that was associated with a bar in Alaska. They called it Mr. White Keys and the Spam Tones, if you've ever heard of them.
No, I haven't, but that doesn't mean anything. No, she's she's a pretty good singer, really, and she was a good songwriter too. She wrote all those songs that are on the ham videos.
Yeah, well, that's cool. I have conceptually, I don't know how to write music or anything, but I got the music in my head, a couple of ham radio type songs, and one of these days I might learn how to write them down or get somebody to play them. I cannot sing, I cannot play an instrument, I cannot dance, but I love music.
All you have to do, and I'm going to tell you how to do that for writing the music you want. If you have a tune that you like, that you think you want, and that's just find a friend, and I'm sure there's one within, like, you can Nashville, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting the guitarist. Find a friend who plays a guitar, and you say, here it is, and he'll chord it out for you. He'll tell you what all the chords are for that song.
Yeah, I need to do that to KQ4 or whatever his name is, Tim in Hendersonville. I need to talk to him. I imagine he could do that for me.
I'm sure if he's a good in music and guitar particularly, they can chord it out, and then anybody could play the tune for you, and what you want to get across. So yeah, you're right. That was Carrie, right? That's your first name, isn't it?
Correct. I'm running a Yaesu 2800, about 10 watts through my 25 foot in the air backpack quad antenna, and it's pointed more or less east as best I can tell.
That's a 2-meter quad, is it?
Yes.
And that's how many elements?
2.
Okay. Yeah. So that gain is what, 5?
Yeah, somewhere between 5 and 7, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, I just was guessing at it based upon my little experience with quads. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, this was a gift, so I feel like I had to stick it up and run with it. And, it helps me get a couple of guys that I cannot hear otherwise. So even though you're not supposed to leave it up in the elements all that time, it's been up about 2 years. And, I guess I'll just leave it there until the worst happens.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't go up and service it. They'll clean it up and hit it with some protective coating of some kind. But no, it's doing great. That quad is on 10 watts. Yeah, but you're doing great, Kerry. Appreciate it. And your signal was up around S8.
Roger. Well, appreciate that. Yours is about the same. Over here. Anyway, let me get over here. I'm sure you got other people wanting to talk to you. And the net is not the place for a rag chew. Sorry, I started one. 73. KO4DR.
Oh, it's nothing. I hate to be a censor if somebody feels like talking a little bit and we don't want to drag it out. You're right, but I'd like to keep it, if you haven't noticed, fairly informal, because the last thing I want is a sterile Spartan check-in, goodbye, slam bam, thank you, ma'am.
Roger. Well, I know what you mean. When I ran the 4.9 Simplex Net, we tried to keep it somewhere in the middle of the road on that, and we did pretty well at it. We ran it for about 13 years, I think.
Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah, and that is the only way you can really, I think, if people don't feel as though, it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's ham radio or not. If you're having a meeting of people and people don't feel like they're recognized and have some importance in the circle of what we're talking about, I go, I don't need to check in. It's no big thing, because they're just taking a number, and I'm not interested in numbers. I'm interested in people who are on the air.
Well, there you go. That's a good way to be. Same here. I mean, we like the numbers. We like participation, or we used to call it precipitation, but when it gets to be the same old, then you kind of wear it out. Of course, after 13 years, it kind of did get to be the same old, but I don't know. At least on Simplex in general, there is quite a bit more freedom. I mean, most repeater owners are okay as far as we know. So I've been kicked off a couple of three for various infractions. Not of the FCC rules, but apparently kicking off the repeater owners. But anyway, my reputation precedes me. That's why I love Simplex.
Well, I think I don't think you're on the email list. I don't think, but I wrote that in today's email that Simplex may be the last bastion of free speech. Nobody can kick you off of Simplex. Well, the FCC conceivably could, but as far as opinions and thoughts, ideas, nobody's going to kick you off. And even if they tried to, they couldn't.
Right. If they tried to, just get an amp and a bigger antenna and show them who's boss.
Yeah, very good, Kerry. That was Kerry Kilo Oscar 4 Tango Romeo, and he's in Nashville. And I didn't realize that, but he was running that 4.9 Simplex Net for a long time. So I'm impressed. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it that long, 13 or 14 or 15 years. Wow. All right. Who else we got? Anybody other late check-ins? Any other late check-ins? I got all night. Well, then we're going to have to move on to the sandbaggers, lollygaggers, lurkers, scanner listeners, and the SDR donglers. Nobody's going to own up to be a dongler, I don't think. One of my least favorite terms. All right, last chance before we just close out the net, which we finished before 1 hour. I'm shocked.
Whiskey 4 Sierra Papa Delta.
I'm sorry, one more time, the Papa Delta.
Yeah, W4 SPD.
Hello, how are you tonight? Whiskey 4 Sierra Papa Delta.
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Yourself?
I'm doing great. Long day, but doing great.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, we're a little bit thrown off ourselves coming up here from Atlanta. This is Scott Jr., K1 SPD's son.
Yeah, no, I know. You got this the SPD thing going there. I knew exactly who it was. You do, yeah. Atlanta. Where do you live in Atlanta?
I'm a little north of Atlanta. I'm over in Woodstock.
Okay, that's a real nice area.
Oh, it's real nice, and it's growing quicker than I can believe.
Well, I gave up on saying Atlanta's growing because it was been growing for the last since I first went there in like 80, one maybe, and it was really starting to kick butt with all that road growth, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I moved there in 2010. So in the 8 years that I've been there, it's a completely new. And I've been in Woodstock for a good 6 years of that, or Woodstock area, and it's exploded. When we moved there, it was it might as well have been a dirt road town almost. But yeah, they came in and threw up apartment complexes and shopping centers, and we got a new outlet mall. It's a completely different world up there now.
Yeah, completely different traffic patterns for certain. Did they ever extend the Marta? Is it Marta? Is that what they call it up there into that north where you live?
No, Marta still stops before it gets to Cobb County, but they did end up building a reversible express lane that runs up from near me all the way down to the 285 loop, and then switches over to the HOV lane. And the commuter bus that I take into work gets to use the express lane, so that's nice.
Yeah, but you know what? Now that I'm retired, Scott, I watch Mayberry and I wish I lived there.
Oh, well, sometimes I do too. But got to go where the money was, so that's what put me there. And I guess I'll be dealing with it for a little while. I'm only 5 years in as of this month there at my job.
Oh, no, I understand. I understand. I was the same way when I lived in Tampa and I moved there when I thought it was still a cow town, kind of a small city in the South down there. And that was in 73. And when I left it in 2009, I felt like I was leaving a megalopolis.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess it's the cost of progress, I guess. It just keeps on trucking, and there's no fighting it.
No, there isn't, but it's ultimately it's great for people who are working. Now, whether you work in construction or whatever you're doing, engineering or sales, whatever it is, it's all good for that. But then you just got to put up with all the hassles of the road problems, people problems, crime problems, all that stuff.
Yeah, thankfully we haven't had too much of that creep out from Atlanta up our way yet, but inevitably it'll be there.
Oh, it'll be there. You can bet it'll be there. They don't have to come up from Atlanta either. There'll be people. I remember the first time I realized that out there in Colorado at that Columbine, when those two kids, made a mess of things at the school. And the most common thing that we heard from the people, the citizens of Columbine, of that city, I forget the name of the city now. Was it Columbine? Whatever. And they said, well, we never thought that would happen here. We thought it would. These are the things you hear about Chicago, New York, Atlanta, Miami, Los Angeles. And the fact is, you can have problems anywhere. I don't care how big or small, it can happen.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Ain't that the truth? Well, Paul, I just wanted to hop in here so I could push you over the hour mark, so you could make your quota there on that. So I'm going to cut it short here. We're going to be headed back over to the in-laws. Just swung in here to say hi to Pops for a little bit. So I'll pass it back over to you for your final with me there. This is W4 SPD.
Yeah, and of course you're still pegging the meter, just like you're using the same radio, obviously, but you're doing good. And I think he saves up all his PC problems for you to come by, so he really appreciates you. All righty, that was Scott, Whiskey 4 SPD, and that's the other Scott's son, who's up here from Atlanta, taking her easy compared to Atlanta. Anybody else on late check-ins? Yeah, nothing. Well, very good. We had a monstrous 27, which is right about our current average, somewhere in the mid-20s. I never have done the math to see what our actual average is. I know it's not as accurate as the average Earth temperature that Al Gore keeps touting, but I'll have to work on that. Maybe I can get Al Gore to help me out. All right. Last chance. No more chances after this one. Anybody got late checking? Fine business. Guys, have a great night. Appreciate all the check-ins. I hope everybody's having a safe holiday with their friends and family, and we'll catch you hopefully on Saturday night if you're able. K4PEW, closing the net.
Yeah, don't run off yet, Paul. K1